Hello, I'm Tom Leach, full-time at the Meadow. Shrewsbury Town have just knocked Walsall out of the Checkatrade Trophy. To my right we have Shrewsbury reporter Lewis Cox and Walsall reporter Joe Masi. Sam Ricketts' first game in charge of Shrewsbury, but a tricky one really to judge him on.
Yeah, well, he called it the perfect start, to be honest. I mean, obviously great to get off to winning ways. But yeah, this competition feels like reserve games, don't they? The 1800 here, even though it was a local rival.
Didn't feel like a derby at all tonight. It's very, very flat in here.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, you could hear every word Sam Ricketts shouted down from the dugout. I think he was quite vocal, and he's quite that style of management, loud, patrolling his technical area. He never sat down once, and very, I think we said, didn't he, vocal with the players, coaching them through the game.
Yeah, I was trying to work out if he was vocal or if it was just that quiet.
Yeah, I think we could hear him more because there were less fans here, obviously. But you could see his style of being really hands-on, maybe with the players. That's pretty different to how John Askey was.
Hands-on as well with Danny Coyne and Eric Ramsey throughout the night.
Yeah. I think we've said, and I've written that that they're very much a trio. Some people have said it's a dream team, a bit early for that, but they're very much going to be working together, right-hand men, sort of deputies. We've not been given any titles, have we, in terms of assistant manager or so on, but they're just going to be a close-knit team. And they were like that in the technical area tonight. It was, 10 changes. It was always likely, to be loads of changes. So, the backup boys, the supporting cast, gave a decent account of themselves tonight, I thought. I don't know what Joe thinks, but first half I thought Town were pretty good and could have led by more than one. Handful maybe that performed pretty well, I'd say, and maybe gave Sam Ricketts a headache. Second half petered out a bit, didn't it? Town weren't at the same level they were. Walsall upped it a bit, particularly late on, but it was the right result. A narrow Shrewsbury win. But yeah, it just helps them. Sam Ricketts has said, just helps the momentum, doesn't it? It's now 6 wins from 7. There's a real buzz about the place. Each and every player says that. The new manager said that. So they're in such good, confidence in a great place, such momentum. Only bodes well, for what is the real test, Burton on Saturday away, which is never easy going there. Don't know too much what to expect of them coming down. Though they've not had it great this season, have they? So far, it's 15th against 16th, though, and the real acid test for Ricketts, I guess.
We'll come on to Walsall. They tried a new system tonight by the looks of things, sort of a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2 kind of switch. It didn't seem to work through the first half. I thought he was going to change it. He didn't. He stuck with it, and he seems like he's going to stick with it a few times in the future as well.
Well, yeah, potentially. It was a real strange formation from the Saddlers tonight. It was almost like a midfield box system is the only way I can describe it. It was sort of Liam Kinsella and Isaiah Osborne were centrally placed in the midfield too, but then in front of them was Kieran Morris and Conor Ronan as well. Saddlers, they didn't have any width. They were relying on their wing backs tonight, Luke Leahy and Kane Wilson, but they didn't really provide any width really in the first half. And just to echo what Lewis said, really, I thought Shrewsbury in the first half in particular, they were well on top. I mean, it's a bit worrying really from Saddlers' perspective that it was 10 changes from the weekend, maybe 10 changes to what the Shrewsbury team will be at the weekend. It's a system, 3 at the back, it's something I've wanted to see Walsall do for a long, long time. And Keats has said post-match that, they're going to look at it going forward. I don't think it'll be any time soon, if I'm being honest. He's basically said it's something he wants to explore.
It is the in thing, isn't it, at the minute in football, this 3 at the back. Everyone is
thing.
going for it. It seems to work. If it works for Man City and Wolves tonight, why can't it work for Walsall?
It's the formation I play on Football Manager.
Exactly.
It is bang on trend. But yeah, this was a very, very different version of it. It wasn't a million miles away from what England did at the World Cup with Lingard and Dele Alli, but it didn't work for the Saddlers tonight. They've got the personnel to play the system. I genuinely believe Luke Leahy and Nicky Devlin have the potential to be very good wing backs. They've got a gluttony of centre halves, with Russell Martin coming in and Connor Johnson doing so well at the weekend. But it was definitely a work in progress, that system tonight. I think it would need a fair bit of tweaking for them to use it going forward, but they could use it going forward. But very, very disappointing night for the Saddlers. I am hugely disappointed. I really wanted them to have a crack at this Checkatrade Trophy. I think it's a competition they could have won. They've gone out really with a bit of a whimper against the local rivals. I think that's really disappointing. Disappointing night all round, and I think Keats basically admitted post-match he's used the game. He said the words not as a training exercise, but he sort of hinted along those lines to look at this formation. I think that is sad, and that kind of says what his competition is now, because he has used it as a training exercise really to look at something different. It hasn't worked. They've gone out, and I'm really disappointed, but you wonder how people in the game, if they would really be that disappointed if they've gone out.
We share quite alternative views on this competition.
Is that because you've been there and done it though? You got to get to the final.
Yeah,
last season,
well, maybe, but Town fans, I don't think there'll be a clamour to, if 3 more wins from Wembley now, which if this point last season I'd have been like, oh my gosh, this is 3 wins from Wembley, wow. But of course, they lost twice there, and that dampens it a bit. But Shrewsbury Town at Wembley, full stop, doesn't bode well. So maybe they do need this return this season, and 6-time lucky. That would be great, wouldn't it, for the obvious Sam Ricketts led League One playoff charge the following season? Who knows? But yeah, I'm only taking the proverbial. I think if we went there again, it would be great, and another chance to banish the hoodoo. But yeah, the players that came in tonight, from a Shrewsbury perspective, certainly some of them, a handful of them, maybe half a dozen, did themselves justice. Talk about personnel. Charlie Colkett in the middle of the park, Chelsea Loney gets these games in the Checkatrade Trophy and delivers in most of them. He was good again tonight, really good on the ball. Doug Loft got his first time goal, gave a really hard working display, fair play to him for that. The defensive duo, Kieran Kennedy, Ryan Sears, a new partnership, young lad Sears playing centre half for the first team for the first time, did really well. So yeah, I think Gilead took his goal nicely. There were good performances, but it's going to be a big ask for a lot of those lads to banish these 11 or 12 that have done it for the last month or so in the league and in the FA Cup. Been really impressive. Some big players for this football club. But as Sam Ricketts has said, busy period now, Christmas, injuries. These players that play tonight are going to be needed, absolutely. And what a boost for Sean Worley to come on. You had something similar, didn't you, with Joe Edwards coming on?
Huge for us,
of course, that was a much more serious injury for him, but Worley's not played for 6.5 weeks, and for me, he's Shrewsbury Town's best attacking force still. So what a boost when they have him from the off. More options. Happy days.
Back to Walsall. Big question for you. They're at the Checkatrade tonight on a horrendous run of form.
Oh, horrendous!
It really is. I mean, what's the run at the minute then?
I think it's 3 draws in the last 4. It's not too bad, is it?
No, okay, I'll give you that. But I thought before that there was sort of 5 or 6 defeats. Am I right in saying in sort of 10 games?
They've struggled defensively
compared
recently.
to the start of the season.
Compared to the start of the season, they have.
Out of the Checkatrade, where now for Walsall season?
Well, that's why I'm so disappointed tonight, really, and that's why we differ slightly. For me, the only competition Walsall or Shrewsbury could win this season, the only chance of silverware this season is the Checkatrade Trophy. Neither of us are going to win the league, are we? Let's be honest, the top 4 are gone. So that's why I'm so disappointed. I think it's a competition you can just grab by the scruff of the neck and win it. I really, really do. And that is where do we go from here? Sadler's mid-table at the minute. I mean, for me, the FA Cup replay of Sunderland now has got even bigger. That's on Tuesday, 6 days' time. You don't want to go out two cup competitions in the space of a week. That would be really disappointing. At the start of the season, the first 7 games, I got carried away. A lot of people got carried away.
Did you?
But the reason why we got carried away was because Walsall were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant. They weren't good, they were brilliant. All they need to do is rediscover that. Their heads have dipped, there's no doubt about it. They've lost a little bit of confidence. They've made some silly mistakes. They've had a lot of refereeing decisions go against them. The tide has turned against them the last sort of month or so. But there, in that team, in that squad, there's such a talented group of players. They always know what their jobs are under Dean Keats. So if they can recapture that, there's no reason why they can't. They absolutely should be finishing top half this season. And if you finish top half, you're always in contention of a top 6 place. Always going to be in with a shout of it. So that's got to be the aim now for the rest of the season. And hopefully beat Sunderland a week on Tuesday. They deserve to beat Sunderland the 2 games they played in the last 2 times. So fingers crossed it can be third time lucky. And then hopefully then get past Bolton in the 3rd round, then get a real glamour tie in the 4th round. But there's still plenty to play for. But that's why I'm so disappointed tonight, because I feel like the one chance of silverware, as we've let it slip through our hands really with a bit of a whimper.
Myself and Joe were just saying that it feels at the moment with Shrewsbury's form that they're on a bit of an upward trajectory now with a new manager. You hope for the bounce, and also seems to be maybe slowly going the other way.
No, I wouldn't say they're going the other way.
Not the other way,
yeah,
but
I'd say they've improved a lot. They had a dip, and I think the last sort of 3 or 4 games they're getting a lot back to where they were.
But in the search of those wins, maybe that you were getting so freely earlier on in the season.
Yeah, they just need to. They need a little bit more luck, be a little bit more clinical, cut out the errors, and they will go in the right direction again. I do believe in this team. I really, really do. Because of that early season form, but there is a buzz. You're right about Shrewsbury now.
But there's not so many points different, I think, between the 2 clubs. I think Town are about 3 points off 12th mid-table, and it's something like 10 points off the playoffs. you will be fewer points off the playoffs.
Yeah, I think we're 3 points ahead of you, aren't we?
So, and you've said it's got to be the target top half, and then you look at the playoffs. For me, there's still half of a season to go. If you get some form, like Shrewsbury got, if they can push it on, if Walsall can get in any form, there's still easily a chance. You said the top 4 have gone. I think after maybe 4, maybe 5, it's much of a muchness. There's every chance in the world this season to sneak in.
I mean, it's Luton who are in 5th at the minute, and I have to admit, when Walsall played Luton this season, they were absolutely excellent.
Yeah,
But the difference between the team that finishes 5th this year and the team that finishes 16th is going to be nothing. Everyone in that middle pack is basically as good as each other. Keats says it all the time, it's the most obvious footballing cliche, it's all about consistency, but it is just all about consistency. The team that puts in the most consistent performances will rocket up this league because it's so bang average. I hate to say it, but it is bang average. The top 4 do look strong. They do look like probably squad strength, really. You look at the numbers behind the numbers; they've got a lot of players there. So over this December-January period, you'd imagine they'll kick on slightly because teams maybe like Walsall will struggle with the odd injury here and there. But 5th place, I mean, 5th place is anyone's as far as I'm concerned. As good as Luton have been, and it could be anyone. It really could. So yeah,
that'll be a right battle for the bottom of the playoffs. I think.
From the end of the season. And I think maybe we've still like 6 weeks to go. The team that are 14th, 12th, 13th, they'll still be thinking, if we can put a run together, if we can really go on a run, if you can win 4 or 5 games in this league, oh my God, you boom up it, because there is no consistency. So, yeah, long way to go, long way to go, and plenty of football still to play for. And what an opportunity for Sam Ricketts for that is. I mean, it's so enticing coming in. He must be thinking, that manager bounce could take them anywhere.
Absolutely, but and it's already such momentum he's coming into. I was actually just thinking, when's the other game? But I've just remembered the final.
Oh, it's the final day.
Not the final day, is it? It's the final penultimate, or is it the
final day?
The final day.
Yeah.
Shrewsbury and Walsall 6 and 7, battling out for the final playoff.
Yeah, I'll take that now. Yeah.
Anything else we add? Anything else we want to touch on?
All good.
All good?
Brilliant.
Let's get to bed.
So for all the reaction on Walsall, keep it expressandstyle.com, and for Shrewsbury, Shropshire Star.